I have come on location today for our gratitude moment, and I am standing in front of our church's first building on the corner of Cliff and Columbus Streets here in Sun Prairie. It was in 1867 that our church built this church for a cost of $10,000. Beginning today and for the next 4 weeks, we will be focusing our stewardship on our 175th anniversary year and on our year of gratitude, with our theme being 175 years of gratitude. We have much to be grateful for. Since 1845, when 11 people called Methodists began what John Wesley, our founder of Methodism, called a Methodist class here in Sun Prairie. And I am humbled when I hear the history, when I read the stories about how we have gotten to the point we are at today through the faithfulness, through the commitment, through the generosity, and through the tenacity of people who are willing to stay with things and to see things through. In the early years, from 1845 to 1850, our Sun Prairie Methodist class was served by many different pastors from the Madison area, Methodist pastors. And then it was in 1851 that Sun Prairie became a pastoral charge and was given an appointed pastor. And there have been 54 lead pastors ever since, along with many other wonderful associate pastors. So it is my great gratitude to be able to be the 55th lead pastor of the Sun Prairie United Methodist Church. And I serve with a wonderful church staff who make ministry happen every day in creative and life-giving ways. This past Friday, you should have received through your email our stewardship letter and our narrative budget for 2021. And for many different reasons having to do with the coronavirus, we decided to send that out over email, but we also are postal mailing that to people who don't share in email. And if you'd like a paper copy of our narrative budget, you can contact the church office. But our narrative budget gives stories and pictures of our ministry happening now and what the investment will be of what we will need to continue our ministry in 2021. So we hope that you will read the letter and read the narrative and see where you can plug in to be an investment in our ministry. We are beginning this stewardship focus on World Communion Weekend because so much of our 175 years of being a faith community comes in gratitude from the table of God's grace, which for us as United Methodists is an open communion table, meaning that all people are welcome to share with us in this sacrament of communion. So on this World Communion Weekend, and as we begin to think what our investment will be in our ministry for the coming year, I invite you to remember that this communion table brings us all together. It makes us one. So with that comes God's grace, and I invite you to watch this video as we learn about the table of God's grace.
And when we give thanks over the cup, do we not share in the blood of Christ?
I happen to be a very, very big fan of the idea behind World Communion Sunday because it celebrates the astonishing diversity that exists within the Christian family surrounding the world. And what's especially beautiful about it at Christ Church is that we have well over 50 different nationalities or ethnicities in attendance and as members of Christ Church. So as a result, on World Communion Sunday, when we're serving communion, the servers who are serving communion often will have tears in their eyes, and afterwards they will express what a wonderful thing it is to be able to see the breadth of diversity within God's kingdom. So for right here at Christ Church, it's an absolutely wonderful way to articulate a theology of grace for the world.